right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of Ballers Block.
Pew, pew, pew.
We're working on sound effect.
Pew, pew, pew.
Right now, there's just fresh out the trunk sound effects at the moment.
Some janky ass sound effects. That's what we got. But
What do you expect from two jerks?
facts. But
With that said, two jerks are going to rehash the first. Well, let's call it the first week of the NBA.
it is the first week.
Yeah,
It is the first week of the NBA. So we're gonna
the
recap.
NBA so far.
So we're not really gonna recap. I don't want to say recap, and then people get the impression that we're gonna talk about each and every
No.
game and break it down.
Hells no.
The
important stuff.
Yes, to us
To
that we
us.
feel y'all need to hear.
What two jerks found interesting.
Exactly. So, I guess in proper fashion and form to start off the entire show, I think we need to regroup and kind of just check in on
Let's
how
do it.
our teams and players are doing. And when I say our teams and players, I'm talking about our favorite.
Me, the homer, Raptors all day.
Yes, Raptor fan here, still die hard. Yeah, go ahead. Talk about your team. How you guys doing right now?
Well, we could be doing better.
Okay.
As of today, we're recording on Saturday, so we did win. I don't know if we won. Did we win? Let me double
Is
check
it over?
this.
The
Let me double
Pelicans
check
game?
this.
I think Pelicans are up. Last time I checked, the Pelicans were up. Your team is not looking that good right now in the Eastern Conference, so I do think they need this win.
Could be better. It definitely could be better.
Score check.
We're up one. We're up two.
Oh,
With
Toronto's
two
up.
left. We're
2
up
minutes
two with
left?
2 minutes left.
Okay, so you guys are up, but overall, you guys are
It hasn't
currently
been a
what?
good start.
You guys are what, 1-3?
I believe so.
1-3. So if you pull off this game, you're 2
2 and 3. So still below 500, but it's early. It's
It's early.
early.
It's early, but it looks like there's a little bit of
Turmoil.
yep, amongst that
We had to-
happy-go-lucky family
We had
called
to
the
bench
Raptors.
Spicy. Still hate that nickname, but we had to bench Spicy.
Get rid of spicy. We want something mild. We
Like
want something
Harden?
mild.
Like Harden.
Harden's cold. He's ice cold.
We'll get to Harden in a sec. Anyways,
Yeah, we'll get to that topic in a second. So that's how you. So your team off to a meh start.
off to a solid meh.
Okay.
We need to pick things up for sure.
Okay.
But to be honest, I'm not expecting big things from the Raptors this year. I don't think we have enough to contend for a championship this year. I'm a realistic fan.
So basically, this is the Raptor fan way of saying they're no longer contenders. They're done. They had their run. That one chip was it. So going forward,
Well, I trust Masai. I think I expect
Masai's
I
gone,
we'll
man.
bounce back.
No, there's no bounce back.
But this year, I don't think it's gonna be unless we make a trade some point in the season.
Let me tell you what your bounce back was. Giannis coming to Toronto, and he kiboshed
Hey,
that.
listen, man,
That all
because
got
he signed.
kiboshed.
Come on,
The best you're gonna do at this point is a James Harden.
don't count it off yet.
The best y'all gonna do right now is a James
Don't
Harden,
count
and we'll
it
get to
off
James Harden
yet.
later on. We'll get to James Harden later on. So now let's talk about my team.
Let's.
My
The
team's
Golden
doing a little
State
better than
Warriors.
your team.
Are they
Yeah, we've won 2 games.
against two trash teams?
Listen, we're in the Western Conference. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And you guys haven't won yours yet, so we'll see how that game goes. But 2-3, my team, Golden State Warriors, minus Klay
Your
Thompson.
losses have been oof.
Okay, but here's the thing. Prior to the whole, like, them coming into the season, there was an anticipation that Klay Thompson would be back. The team would be, but obviously he's hurt again. He's probably out for the rest of the season.
You guys might be in the lottery again.
I mean, we're not mad at that. Wiseman looks like a solid pickup, so if we can get another lottery pick, we'll be fine in a couple years or so. Get back to another 3. Well, not another 3 people. Get back to championship ways. But unfortunate events, injury. The injury bug catches everybody, and Klay.
You think Steph can carry a team?
Nah, not by himself, man. Not by himself. Not like that. It's too much, especially for a guy his size. I mean, we clearly see nobody can carry a team on their own. Giannis can't. LeBron didn't.
LeBron didn't, but even him by himself, the team doesn't look trash.
It doesn't matter though. The fact is, the level of player he is, being the greatest player in the game right now.
True.
He's held at a different standard. So
I'll give you that.
But moving on from the Warriors. So my team's looking okay, decent. Am I concerned?
Okay, they're another solid meh.
But think about it. They're meh because you haven't seen them gelling yet. They're still trying to figure out the new guys. We'll see how that works once they've had time playing together. I'm not too concerned, again, because Clay went down.
Jesus Christ.
Because Clay went down. I'm not too concerned. It is what it is. I know Clay's a big part of their success, and if he's not there...
I'll give you this. Draymond Green has only played, I think, one game.
He hasn't... Yeah, yesterday's game.
Exactly. So I'll give you that.
So it's literally just been Steph and a bunch of other guys trying to figure it out.
And those other guys, ugh.
They'll figure it out. It's early.
Oubre and Wiggins, Jesus Christ.
Wiggins, I'm a bit iffy on, but I don't want to dwell too much on that topic anyways. My next guy... I don't want to say team, but my next guy I want to touch base on and follow up on, KD. Former Warrior.
Where Brooklyn at?
You know, a lot of people hate KD. Checking in on KD back from the Achilles injury, and he is looking not too bad.
I'm not a hater, but again...
No, you were a hater. Come on.
I was never a hater.
Come on, bro. Come on.
When have I ever said anything bad about KD?
You have.
We
may need to go back to previous basketball.
What have I ever said about KD? I never said a bad word about him.
Nah, man. You did.
Check the tapes.
You said he needed to go to the Warriors to win a chip. They needed him to win a chip.
Yeah, whatever. They won a chip without him.
And they lost without him too.
So?
And they won 2 with him.
So?
They won 2 with him because they needed him.
He was up 3-1 and lost to them.
If he did not join them.
Him and Westbrook were up 3-1 and lost
If he did not join them, do they win those 2?
And he doesn't either. Well,
if LeBron didn't join Dwayne Wade and them, he ain't having no freaking chips under his belt at this point.
Yet to be
he ain't having no chips at this point.
But he won 2 without him.
After that, but the trajectory and his legacy would have changed.
Won 1 without him. They're champions before.
And they won 2 with him. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, so that's basically the touch on KD's back. He looks like he, I feel like he's still feeling out the game, but he's not a full 100% to KD. But he's looking pretty damn near close.
Brooklyn's record's not that great right now either. But
no one's record's great. That's the thing. It's early.
It's early, but I don't know about. Well, we'll touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, they're 500 from what it shows right now.
Dinwiddie injury?
We'll get to that. I
think might hurt him.
We'll get to that. But on to other topics now. So we've talked about checking in on our teams. We see how our teams are doing right now. We're fairly, I guess we're still feeling it out. Basically, we don't have a confirmed. It's
still very
direction.
Early. Nobody has.
Even the good teams don't look that good right now. Nobody has
established themselves yet.
Okay. So now talking about my guy KD being back looking good. He didn't look too good on a poster.
Ooh.
And it was like
Scary Terry.
Rosier.
Yep.
This guy caught it off like a 1 step.
Yep. 1 dribble. 1 hard dribble and just
and just cocked it back and banged it on him. I got scared. I thought KD got hurt when he dropped. Still,
it was one of those violent dunk-ons.
Yeah. So KD is back, but he's back on a poster, which is.
I've noticed this about KD since he's come back. He's been trying to block everything, and he's been he's caught a few on his head top trying to do that.
I think he needs to slow down and not overdo it, because I think right now he's trying to prove to people that he's the man.
Not just that he's the man, that he's like, he's healthy. Exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do that. We can tell you're good. We've seen your shots. We've seen what you're doing. You're fine, bro. Don't overdo it.
If anything, man, I wouldn't be mad if he went on that Kawhi load management business.
He should. Especially coming back from this kind of injury, he should.
I've been there, so I know. I know exactly what that injury is all about. So yeah, definitely take time with it.
But he's looking good. They're looking good. What about
They're looking aight.
They're looking good, man.
They're looking
good.
aight. They definitely have some work to do.
Speaking of looks, how's Lemelo Ball looking?
I would say for that, I'd say yet to be determined there, because what, he's averaging 11, 4, and 4.
As a rook, that's not bad. How much minutes is he playing?
Let me see.
How much minutes?
23.
23 minutes a game, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4. That's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, no, that's not bad. I'll just leave it at that. That's not bad. That's not bad. He's averaging more points than his brother did in his rookie year.
Did he?
Yeah, I think Lonzo was was he at 10? But he was averaging almost a triple-double. It's just his points look kind of, suspect. But he was averaging almost a trip-dub. That's why people were giving him Bly that first year. It's like, yeah, he's not a scorer, but he's almost had a trip-dub, which means he's impacting the game in different ways. What was he at? You're pulling up stats? We're fact-checking. Hold on.
Yeah,
Drum
10
roll.
points.
10 points. There you go. How many rebounds?
Let's round that up to 7.
And assists?
And 7 assists.
Yeah, so almost a trip-dub. So his brother's not that far off. Like 11, 4, and 4 is decent. And I think he's probably going to improve as time goes on.
Definitely.
Because to me, he's not showing any real flaws besides being young and inexperienced. He looks super confident.
That's the key right there, because he definitely is more aggressive than his brother.
Yeah, he's comfortable, he looks like. He doesn't look like, he's afraid of anything. So it's just a matter of him learning the game and figuring out where he can get his shots, and, he'll be fine. I feel like he's a guy that can play 3 different positions.
He's definitely an NBA player.
Yeah. He's good. He'll be solid. Just give him time. Now, here's the big topic of the first week of the NBA. It's been a bit of drama.
You talking
Suspense.
about the elephant in the room?
The elefante in that room.
Or some might say the elephant in the strip club.
Whatever you want to call it. Or even the elephant on the ball court, because he looks out of shape as hell. Let's just call him the elephant. The bearded elephant.
I like that, the bearded elephant.
James Harden. What's going on with this guy, man?
It seems like he wants no parts of Houston. I don't know if the recent acquisitions that Houston has gotten with John Wall, with DeMarcus Cousins, and another player who I'm not sure you know of yet, Christian Wood. Big man on the yeah, he's a starting big man on the team. He's pretty solid. So maybe that's enough to keep him happy there, but from all of the offseason, it seems like he wanted to be out. There was rumors about him going to damn near every team.
I think he's sulking here.
Just saying a big baby.
He's sulking because D'Antoni is gone. D'Antoni was a coach that gave him free range to do what he wanted to do. Basically gave him the keys to the house. Told him he didn't have to pay rent.
There, Christian Wood, 20 and 15.
Told him he can run the team in. Now D'Antoni's gone. A new coach would come in there and tell him how to play it. It'd be a more structured organization. He'd have to play defense. He'd have to play a systematic offense. I think that's what's getting to him now. Like, he wants to leave and go somewhere where, he's starting fresh as the superstar James Harden, and he can almost dictate or paint the narrative of how his game is played to not potentially expose the fact that he can't lead a team to a championship.
Oh, it definitely doesn't look like he can lead a team to a championship, even with solid backcourt.
Listen, I think the team he has, the fact they have a John Wall, and they threw in Boogie Cousins in there, I think that team would help him better. Because having a guy like a John Wall, you have a next person that's
So what you're saying is there's no excuses this year.
There were no excuses over the last couple of years for this guy.
I mean, he did have his chances.
Everyone gave him excuses. And he got, last year, I think, was the exposure. The all-out exposure. Just say, okay, bro, you had absolutely
people necessarily
nothing.
give him excuses. People, you call it as they see him. Seeing he's tired, seeing that he's shoots too much.
Nah, they gave him excuse, but the year Chris Paul got injured, they basically used that to say, oh, Chris Paul.
I'll say he got excuses maybe that year. Even that year, that was the year when they shot all them threes and missed all them threes.
But people still use Chris Paul going down as the reason, even though they still could have won. So he's ran out of excuses, and I think he knows it.
I like that. He's ran out of excuses.
And he wants out at this point. And I think they should get rid of him or trade him. Whatever they want to do, they need to do it as soon as possible because, it is what it is with homeboy. But, yeah, I don't want to dwell too much on James Harden, but I just feel like he is...
Okay, so real quick, before we jump off James Harden, where do you think would be a nice fit for him?
For him to do what he wants to do, like how he's been doing, Toronto would have been the best fit. Because I feel like Toronto, at this point, you guys just want a superstar. And that's about it. And same thing when Kawhi came here, every other player just kind of let him do him as long as he stepped up to his superstar stature. Everyone else just filled in the gaps. So with James Harden, it'd be the same thing. Let him come here, score his 40 points per game, and then we'll just pick up the slack wherever,
I mean, maybe that's enough. Enough.
Could, honestly, that's why I said Toronto's the best team, only because it worked with Kawhi.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
They basically just said Kawhi
couldn't win no chance. We couldn't even make it to the
Exactly.
finals.
So it was Kawhi, just do what you got to do. We'll figure everything else out that you're not doing, whatever. And it worked out perfect.
That's enough.
And that's what Toronto is, and James Harden would be perfect on that kind of team. But I don't know how much he'd want to play in Toronto is the other thing. But jumping off James Harden, the elephant beard or the bearded elephant. Talk about another guy that's struggling getting his team over the hump. Giannis, the Greek freak, Antetokounmpo. Can he get the Bucks? We're not gonna dwell on this. This is a straightforward question. Can he get the Bucks to the NBA Finals? Let's say in the next couple years, because he's already had like 2-3 years of trying.
Yes, they have a nice threesome with himself, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. Then I think they got some nice pieces to complement what's going on there. You already know about Brook Lopez. Mm-hmm. Big man, protect the rim a little bit, can shoot.
Yeah.
We got DJ Augustine, Brent Forbes. I like that pickup, Brent Forbes and DJ Augustine, both of them. And Bobby Portis. But all those three guys right there could help push them over the top.
Middleton, no show in the playoffs. The other guys, not real playoff
That's players. Where Drew Holiday comes in.
Drew Holiday, yes, I give him that, but I don't know if Giannis and Drew are enough. But they might be. It's the other guys I'm really worried about. Because if every other team plays Giannis the way they've been playing him in the playoffs, then that means somebody else, along with Drew Holiday, are really going to have to step up. And that other person is Middleton, and we've seen how he kind of fades to black in the playoffs. And we'll see. They've had a good team. They obviously can make it to the playoffs. Are they strong enough to get further in the playoffs? I say no.
I like their roster. I think they can do it.
I like their roster, but I say...
You know what?
I say no.
Let me go out on a limb and say this is the year they make it to the finals.
We'll see. I'll say no. I'm saying Philly's year this year.
Philly, eh? Ooh.
I'm going there. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave that for another topic. I'm saying Philly, though. I'm saying Philly.
I ain't mad at that.
So now
I ain't going to hold you.
So we just mentioned Giannis and Drew Holiday. What are some other emerging duos that you're noticing in the NBA right now? I know we talked about it, so I'll throw some names out because I think we talked about it.
Yes.
Let's confirm and let everyone know. So we mentioned De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield. I say one of them, potentially, maybe both, could be an all-star.
Definitely
in a year or two. Both.
Well, in a year or two. I thought you were going to say this year. In a year or two, sure.
They don't get enough airtime, but Buddy Hield. De'Aaron Fox is dope. I think he's already an all-star. But Buddy Hield, get
But
slept
that's the
on
thing. There's so much guards in the West that it's hard for some people to
make it. Yeah, I get it.
like. What's his name has never been an All-Star, but McCollum.
Yeah. Colin Sexton and Darius Garland. You mentioned these emerging.
Yeah,
duos.
they're them and the whole Cleveland have been they've been looking good early. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Keyword early.
The next one, this is more of a veteran kind of duo. Chris Paul and Devin
he's a vet.
Booker.
Well, I guess
Devin Booker's a vet at this
he's
point.
a vet at this point.
Yeah.
Babyface vet.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to be one of the top duos.
I ain't mad at that.
Just because. You got one
Chris
season.
Paul basically makes everywhere he goes better.
Yeah, his
He's that type of
IQ.
player.
His IQ and skill, and then Devin Booker's just skill, IQ. Like
He's an upcoming superstar if he's not already a superstar.
he's not a superstar yet.
Well, he's up
He's
and coming.
upcoming. Next one, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, Boston Celtics.
Well, they might be the best duo in the East.
Perhaps, okay. I'm not gonna argue that right now.
Definitely top 3.
I'm not gonna argue that right now. And what about Trae Young and John Collins?
Another good up and coming duo out the East.
Okay.
I'm looking for big things out of Atlanta this year. I like their roster. I think they might even make a little bit of a splash.
I think if they keep that team together and just grow them, the same way the Pelicans should keep each other together, or that keep their young teams together, 3-4 years, they'll be a serious team. But KD and Kyrie, another emerging duo, veterans. Well, these guys are superstar duos. Let's be realistic with that one.
That's definitely a superstar duo. I don't know. Is Kyrie a full-blown superstar?
Yeah,
Debatable.
Come on. How's that debatable?
Debatable.
How the hell's that debatable?
You know what?
How the hell is that debatable?
In terms of
Kyrie's a bro. Whoa. How the hell is Kyrie? Whoa. Where we going with this?
I would wager
championship.
I would wager some people
He's a superstar.
might not call him.
He's had a movie.
superstar.
He's a superstar.
Okay, well,
Kyrie's a
talk
super.
about
Bruh,
court exploits and influence as well. Sure.
man's a superstar, yo. This guy. So those are the emerging duos that we got. All right. There's probably more, but those are ones that stood out that we're kind of keeping an eye on, I would say. So those are emerging.
Also, keyword they're emerging superstars.
Yes. No, emerging duos. Some of these guys might be emerging all-stars, but we're just talking about them as a duo.
Yes, emerging duos. The key there was emerging.
These are people you need to look out for
the next,
or that have been playing
the next couple years.
Whether they just started, whether they just started playing nice recently or they've been playing nice over the last year or so. But look out for these duos, in our opinions. So the first week, a few games down, what are the standings looking like? I know it's a bit early, but we like to check in, see how everybody's doing.
We're gonna go top 8. So I guess basically the playoff picture, if it was to start now.
So we're looking Western Conference. Let's do Western Conference. Actually, do East first.
Number 1, the Sixers.
Philly.
Then we got the
Philly,
Hawks.
where I am from. You got Hawks? Well, Pacers. They're all tied, aren't they?
Well, Pacers just lost, so.
Okay. You got the. Okay, go ahead.
Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Cavaliers.
All right.
Nets.
Okay.
Knicks. Celtics.
Damn.
Well,
Raptors, 13th.
The Nets, Knicks, Celtics, Bucks, all tied.
Raptors, nowhere to be found.
For now. Actually,
Knicks above the
Win that
Raptors.
game.
Knicks above the Raptors.
They lost.
Raptors lost?
They lost.
Toronto Raptors. Yo, the Zion's got their numbers still. How much points Zion dropped? Let's just give it live right now. Saturday night game, Toronto Raptors versus the New Orleans Pelicans. What was the final score?
116-120.
120-116 for the Pelicans. Zion gave him what?
21. It was Ingram that gave him that work.
What Ingram give him?
31.
B.I.
Told you about Ingram.
I wasn't sleeping on B.I., man.
So, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, that's the East. That's the East picture right now.
let's look at the West. I'm surprised at the West right now.
You got the Suns,
When we were talking about the duo.
the Clippers.
And what were you saying? Chris Paul, everywhere he goes?
Makes that team better.
And there you go. Clippers next. I'm surprised the Clippers are there.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not
After that
surprised
shellacking they took the other day.
by that.
After that crap. Lakers. I'm not surprised.
The Jazz,
Not too surprised.
Pelicans.
At number 5, I'd say I'm surprised right now, but again, it's early. Who knows?
Trailblazers.
I'm not surprised. They should be higher, but they're in
I
the
think they will
playoff run.
finish higher. The Rockets.
You got Rockets?
Yeah.
At what? Number 7?
Yeah.
Yeah? Interesting.
And the Kings.
Oh, the K tied. Okay. Yeah. I'm surprised at the Kings right now.
Yeah, that's a little bit surprising.
But that's it. Remember, we'll talk about that in a sec. Okay, Kings, and then what else? That was it? Number 8 for Kings are 8?
Yeah, Kings are 8.
Okay. So, damn, my team ain't even... Whew, I'm nervous, man. Warriors are what, number 11, 12?
12. I got them at 12. So, not too far from basically same spot as the Raptors.
God damn. Guess we might be in the basement together this year, man. Damn. So that's the standings through the first week of the NBA season. Next, the top players so far. Top 5 players. Player. Let's go through it. Let's go through the stats. Top 5 players. We'll start with...
By that you mean scorers?
We'll start with scorers, yes.
All right.
So in terms of points, we
Top
got
5.
we got Mr. James Harden, the bearded
That's about
elephant,
right. That's about
37 points per game.
Oof. 37.
37 per game. Bradley Beal, 31.2
That's my
per
guy.
game. Trey Young.
Not really surprising.
I'm surprised to be at number 3. I'm surprised.
He was up there last year too.
30.6 for a little guy. He can put up buckets.
I think he averaged close to 30 last year. Same way.
That's dope. Kevin Durant,
Nah, that's about right.
28.2. And CJ McCollum, number 5. I'm surprised Dame ain't there, but
That's what I was
CJ,
gonna
28.
All right, so there's your top 5 scorers.
Top
for
5
now.
scorers, and then we got top 5 assists. Top 5 assists, we got
The Dimers.
Jokic, the
Wow.
Joker, 13 assists per game. What?
Ooh. Hold
Okay.
on.
Hold on.
Ooh, but they're the worst team in the NBA right now.
Soft. Don't worry about them. Next on the list, James freaking Harden, 11 assists per game.
That's about right.
We're knocking this guy, but yet he's still putting up,
37 and 11.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Chris Paul, 8.7. I'm not
Right
surprised.
on.
Then we got Kyle Lowry, 8.3.
Okay.
And DeMar DeRozan,
Interesting.
8 assists per game.
Interesting.
Completely evolved. The evolution of DeMar. Then we look at rebounds right quick. Andre Drummond, number 1, 14.8.
Yeah, that's about right. He's usually
Rudy
up there.
Gobert, 13.2.
Same.
Joel Embiid, 12.3.
That's about right.
Jonas Valanciunas,
Interesting.
former Toronto Raptor,
So
12.
former Raptors are out there doing their thing.
And
Okay.
Giannis, I'm proud, 11.7 assists per game.
All right.
Not too shabby. So those are the top scorers, assists, and blocks. Rebounders. I guess if you want to hear blocks, Miles Turner, 4.2. Chris Boucher, 2.5. Andre Drummond, 2.4. Miles Bridges, 1.8. And DeAndre Jordan, 1.7.
Okay.
So those are the league leaders.
might
in
as well
those-
do steals while we're at it.
Might as well do steals.
Might as well do steals.
Give me 1 second. I gotta pull up the stats again. I closed everything up. Let's do steals. So for steals, we got OG Anunoby, 2.8. What?
Okay. OG.
Is this right? 2.8. Larry Nance Jr., 2.6.
Larry Nance.
Andre Drummond, 2.4. I'm shocked. This is steals? I gotta go back. OG's up there in steals? And Larry Nance? Larry Nance? That's my Soldier Boy imitation. Larry Nance? What? Larry Nance?
That's just him filibustering, guys.
Shocked. And Andre Drummond. But Andre Drummond is a stat filler. He is a stat filler.
Well, I got a completely different list here.
What list you got for steals? Because I'm looking at ESPN.
No, I was not looking at steals. Excuse me.
Oh my gosh, Debo, what's going on here? Man, you gotta work on your research game here.
I should have went to what do you call this?
You should have went to ESPN or NBA.com.
There we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Larry Nance is number 1. Then we got OG. OG and Dylan Brooks are tied.
Okay, so it's switched, I guess. Go
And
ahead.
Jaylen Brown and Andre Drummond are tied.
Okay, there we go. So I guess I'm not sure when this was updated. I guess there were games that took place earlier.
Yep.
Prior to, yeah. So I got these stats prior to the game starting earlier today, so I guess a few things changed. But those are the league leaders thus far. Pretty interesting, but we'll keep you posted as the weeks go on. Next, quickly, injuries, or should we say, before we get into that, sleeper teams. Sleeper teams, teams that I guess people aren't really paying attention to, that we feel might get further or deep in the playoffs. We noted them down. I'm going to read them off, and if you change your mind, let me know. If you agree, you know what to do. All right, Debo, let's go. Phoenix Suns.
Agreed.
Agree? They're going to make it
sitting
deep.
at number 1 right now.
Yeah,
It's early, but
I think there might be like,
and I'll say it
top
again,
5 in the
Chris Paul
West.
makes every team better.
He does. He brings a different level of like IQ to a game or to the team. We also had Indiana Pacers. I don't think they're a sleeper team. I think they will do exactly as they should, which is exit the playoffs early.
I think they'll make it at least to the second, third round.
All right. Pelicans we had.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping they got a couple wetters. JJ Redick is out there.
JJ is always going to be fine. I think Josh Hart is a solid like defender. He's not obviously like a prime scorer, but he can knock down some shots when he needs to. But what they need is Brandon Ingram. They need Zion to definitely be on his game.
And just get more versatile with his scoring.
Adams,
Big pickup.
they need him to just be their solid inside presence, just for defense. Offensively, I know he has a little hook jump shot, whatever, but defensively, you need him there. And then Lonzo is the key. Lonzo is the key to drive that team to success. At the end of the day, he is the key. So we'll see how that goes. And the Magic. The Magic always seem to make it deep. Or not deep, but they always seem to make it to the playoffs consistently.
They're you know what? You mentioned it before, and they were like what the Raptors were a few years ago. Just
Yep.
always there in the first, making it to the playoffs, and just being a solid regular season team and making it into the playoffs. Usually getting knocked out early, but
And they're just missing
it's just a matter of time before they get over the hump. I really like Vucevic.
They need somebody else.
I think what they really need is a solid guard.
Nah, Markel Fultz, I think he's coming into his own still.
He's all right, but I think he'd be better like a off the bench guy, and you get like a solid point guard there, like a Chris Paul type.
Nah, I think you need a solid 2 guard.
Either or, a solid
2
guard.
or a small forward. Just
A
someone that's
solid-
like an elite. Maybe that's where James Harden should go. You need someone that can score. Because obviously that team's good defensively because
You know
they
what?
play
I like
defense.
that. I like that a lot, actually.
Because if what's his name?
Vucevic.
Vucevic, he can score. He can rebound. He's solid. Then you need a next guy on that team that can score. Then you're good because you got T. Ross off the bench.
Yeah.
You got Aaron Gordon. You have solid guys on that team. You just need another person that can just straight up score. And that might be a James Harden thing. And he might like Florida or Orlando, wherever the heck it is. You know, it's close to Miami, I lie. All right. So we talked about the sleeper teams. We talked about top players, Eastern Conference, Western Conference standings. Couple more things to go through. Ja Morant, some injuries. Ja Morant, you saw that injury?
Updates. Yeah, it looked like a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, it's out 3 to 5 weeks. So these are just a couple key or notable injuries that we even want to talk about. So it's...
Because that's definitely going to have an impact on Memphis.
Yeah.
Plus, what's his name is out there? Jaren Jackson Jr. He's a solid big for their team, so that's really gonna
Yeah,
hurt them.
big piece to their team, definitely. And then we got Spencer Dinwiddie, another huge loss to his team.
Big time. Cause I'm pretty sure Brooklyn hasn't won a game since he's been out.
A torn ACL, and he's out indefinitely, which I would assume is like,
Yeah, probably for the season.
yeah. So that's a shame. High expectations for Brooklyn, but with him going down means Karis LeVert is now like, it's a big three thing now.
Yeah.
And he's already nice. Like,
I like Karis LeVert a lot. He's dropped 50 already. So, he has that scoring ability, that scoring touch.
you know what? I think they'll be fine. I know Dinwiddie would have been a nice piece or a key piece to their team too, but I find now that it's like, okay, only 3 guys can focus on like the bulk load of scoring. Everyone else can focus on, I think it'll be
Everything else.
it'll be fine. It'll be fine. The big 3 works perfectly fine. So those are the notable injuries that we wanted to discuss. Ja Morant out 3 to 5 weeks, high ankle sprain, and then Spencer Dinwiddie
Likely
partially
out for the
torn
season.
ACL. Possibly the season's partially torn. Hopefully it's not, but just want the man to get better and come back fully
Well
healthy.
wishes.
And lastly, before we close off, we covered a few things. But we just want to close off as we will be giving you weekly updates. We will also be providing weekly predictions. So we have predictions for the marquee games. I guess the notable marquee games. Because there was a game.
By notable, it means we're not talking about the Cleveland versus Memphis game.
Yes, because it's pointless to talk about them. But
Which I would kind of.
I just said his point. I just
given how Cleveland has started off the game.
I knew this guy wanted to talk about it the whole time. That's why I didn't want. Cleveland is trash. Memphis is trash without Ja Morant. So we will not talk about them, even though we already just talked about them. So the notable games that we will predict.
Basically
for
every game
next-
except for the Cleveland and Grizzlies
and
game.
bringing them up again. So basically,
I'm just letting the people know, just in case
we know.
they wonder, hey, how come they didn't talk about that one game?
I think any smart basketball fan would understand why we did not want to talk about Cleveland or Memphis without Ja Morant. Period. So, notable games that we want to predict for next week.
First up,
Philly versus Brooklyn. And this is for January 7th games, the Thursday night matinee games. So, Philly versus Brooklyn. Who's taking that? I got Brooklyn. I'm not going to go against my boy KD.
I got Philly.
You got Philly?
I got Philly.
All right. I got Brooklyn. We'll see how that go. I got Brooklyn by 20. All right.
Philly by 5.
All right. T-Wolves versus Blazers. Who you got?
Blazers.
I'm going T-Wolves on this one.
Blazers by 10.
T-Wolves by 10.
Mavericks, Nuggets. I'm going Nuggets.
I go Mavericks on this one, actually. I go Mavs on this
I go
one.
Nuggets by 20.
I go Mavs by 15. Luka drops a 40-point trip dub.
Okay.
And then lastly, Spurs versus Lakers.
The last game was a close one. I'm going to go Spurs.
I'm going Lakers because LeBron stacked his team. Looks like a 2K team, you know.
So we didn't agree on a single theme here.
No, we didn't. No, we did not. But it's all good.
Yep.
We'll see how the predictions turn out next week.
Next week.
So thank you for joining us on blockers.
Get it right.
Blockers ball. No,
Ball-
I'm playing, man. I'm playing Ballers block. Everyone can remix it any way you want, but thank you for joining us on Ballers block.
Shakala.
And that's where people are gonna get mixed up with baller blocking. So
Two
thank
jerks.
you for joining us. Make sure
Out.
you are subscribing to the
Liking,
platforms, liking, sharing, all
Even if
that
you
good
don't
stuff.
like, let us know.
Even if you don't like, share with someone that you think might like. Either way,
Share
thank you
someone
for
that you
joining.
want to hate with. I don't
Two
mind.
jerks in a pod.
Still engagement. Deuces.
We out. Deuces. Thanks for